Cheers, Kathleen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm thrilled at this opportunity to address these bright souls gathered here tonight. My first glimpse of Choate came a little over 15 years ago in an old school paper brochure on a website. And I was blown away by the university-grade curriculum and facilities. The idea of dorm life with colorful peers, and a well-balanced emphasis on character development, including through the arts and athletics. After spending several years of my childhood abroad, which gave me a taste for diverse perspectives and surroundings, I wished nothing more than to study in a place that celebrated creativity and critical thinking. I had the good fortune to attend Choate for 3 years, starting as a sophomore, and I'm eternally grateful for the scholarship grant that made this possible. Mind you, I had an absolute ball those first few months, but I was also woefully unprepared for what I was getting myself into. And every day was a surprise, if overwhelmingly favorable. I wondered how I could get the word out back home. Surely other students would be interested too. Now, I enrolled in the year 2000, when we could browse the internet and send emails. But social media were virtually non-existent, much less on mobile phones. I probably would have been blogging in the present. But at the time, the most logical plan in my mind was to type up a manuscript and post it to publishers, as you do. I kept it a piece of nonfiction, as opposed to a purely personal narrative. So the resulting book has been referred to in the wider context of educational policy, as well as being used as a reading comprehension passage in entrance exams. But the most rewarding response has to be the tours I gave to readers turned prospective applicants during my senior year. Kicking off a writing job in this way, I returned to Japan for undergrad. This was the last thing I'd anticipated when I left, in a funny twist of fate. This is one of many ways that I've been impacted by Choate, where I spent my formative years. My third-grade teacher had already suggested that I become a lawyer when I grow up, because I was an argumentative child full of excuses. But nothing in my concurrent legal career thus far has been more exciting than drafting the Constitution in AP US history. I tried yoga for the first time on campus, in rehab after tearing my hamstrings in a soccer match, which led me to many a monastery and boot camp for an eventual instructor certificate, and a daily practice that grounds me. Needless to say, everyone has a unique Choate chapter in their life. But I can think of a few transformations that are more or less guaranteed. You will never again be satisfied at the dinner table unless there is civil but animated political discourse. You will come to relish sitting in on conversations in a foreign tongue by deciphering clues and cues. And you will be easily overjoyed or heartbroken at news of anything happening anywhere, after realizing we are only separated by a few degrees. Because what I ultimately took away was not only the substantive content that we discussed for hours at end, but really the process itself, which trained us in how to assess sources, connect concepts, and communicate them. We were encouraged to open up, to give birth to genuinely authentic work, be it in written form or performance. In application, this has translated into the capacity to make choices with integrity and dignity. amongst all the information, disinformation, and misinformation that bombards us on a daily basis. When Choate first approached me about today's event, I asked myself whether I would like to go back and do it all over again. My gut reaction was clearly, if only for the scuba lessons, reading Dante and Tuscan and spending summers in Spain. But then it dawned on me that if it weren't for every chance encounter and split-second decision, the last 15 years since matriculation would have unfolded in a drastically different way. And you know what? I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't be willing to give up any of the experiences that have shaped me. The sweet, the bittersweet, or the plain bitter. And in particular, the people who have touched my life. Which is quite a remarkable revelation. And it's testament to the positive influences I received during those critical years that equipped me to live out my passions without regrets. Although some may kindly point out that I don't have to yearn for those carefree days, because I still act as though I'm 15, with every potential simply waiting to be tapped into. To which I would say, why not? It may well be correct if you didn't limit yourself. By the way, my Choate memoir did attract its share of criticism, along the lines of, well, this is just an overprivileged bunch of kids. But first of all, there is no immunity or shield from frustration and loss. So, and being a teen is rough for anyone everywhere. So naturally, we dealt with setbacks like everybody else. More importantly, however, to the extent that we did exist in a blessed little bubble, the solution is not to burst it, but to expand it. The school makes immense efforts in terms of inclusivity, and alumni are spreading the word in neighborhoods across the globe. Society must expand access to truly nourishing learning environments. And perhaps then people wouldn't be so quick to jump to conclusions. Also playing a part in this dismissal is the fact that the official reasons for promoting language acquisition and overseas exchange in this country are presented as part of a strategic framework for international competitiveness, which envisions quantifiable achievements and cogs on a wheel. But please, by all means, rock the boat. We are talking instead about a kind of education that is imperative to empower citizens to engage with the pressing, serious issues that we face on this planet. Cultivating talents to make your original contribution, not comparing and ranking against selection criteria for set career paths that seek to render individuals as replaceable parts. We are not bundles of skill sets. We dream, protest, and love. And that is what drives progress. Life is not about navigating the system for financial gain and chasing current values, but challenging those very conditions. Last but not least, thanks to technology, it is now instantaneous and intuitive to keep in touch with former classmates and faculty members who inspire us constantly with updates on their distinctive professional and personal lives. We catch up at travel destinations, recommend each other for employment positions or housemates, and embark on new adventures together. This is the beginning of something extremely special. So, let go of your expectations and stop looking for answers. Cherish each moment, wherever your journey may take you. Always demand fairness and respect, and the same for all others around you. Have the courage to ask the difficult questions of yourself and others, and treasure the bonds that allow you to continue growing and stay wholly yourself. We invite you to explore yourself in relation to the world. Thank you for your attention.